Alright, with our ditches dug, we now start running our 3/4 water line. And yeah, say hello to the neighbor's dog. He hangs out with us quite often while we're working, but either way, we are going to tee off of our main water line and run over to yard hydrant. Right now, I'm thread taping all the fittings and getting all of it tight and everything. But whatever you do, whenever you get your fittings, you can use either the Teflon, the liquid Teflon, or the Teflon tape, whichever one you want. I prefer the tape, but make sure that you get the brass fittings that's certified lead free, especially going into the house. But you're better off to have it on your yard hydrants and stuff also. You never know, somebody like me might come along and drink out of the garden hose. I did growing up and it never killed me. So, but here in just a minute we'll I want to make sure, I want to show something on these connectors, these CTS connectors for the water line. People are bad to forget the insert that goes inside of the water line, and then when they compress the fitting down to tighten down on the water line, it either collapses it and restricts the flow if they're lucky, or it actually pushes it out of the fitting when water pressure gets built up. And there's a phone call. For some reason, I actually happened to have service right at that moment while I was recording, and got a phone call. But I'm about ready to put the CTS line together. Inside the fitting I just put on there is your compression sleeve. Right here, in just a second, you'll see I put the insert, the little blue insert, into the line. I know, like I said, I know if people it's left them out, and it's normally not a good thing. And also too, on those CTS fittings, when you tighten them down, uh, they will actually bump up solid to where you can't turn them no more. I mean, obviously you can force them and break them, but they won't go too tight, because on your older compression fittings, when you tighten them down, you'd actually cut your water line in two if you went too tight. And the way they've got the newer ones designed, they won't let you. Here you can see I do put a little bit of dirt right around the main bottom, just around where the line and the fitting are. If you'll notice, whenever you're installing one of these, right above where your uh, water line and stuff hooks in, there's actually just a little port that comes out of the side of that little brass foot valve. That port is actually the drain that allows your water to drain out when you actually turn it off. It lets it drain out of the neck that's above ground, so it can't freeze. But you can put I put a little dirt around, just around, like I say, the line and the bottom of that foot valve, just to kind of stabilize it a little bit while I put the gravel bed in for the water to drain into. Here, me and my nephew start putting the gravel in to, like I said a second ago, it allows your water to drain back out of your yard hydrant. If you don't put some kind of porous material, which it recommends gravel, probably wouldn't actually hurt to go with a little bit bigger rock, but all I had was 57s, so that's what I used. You'll normally want to bring it up, you'll start from right above where your water line is, go up probably 6-8 inches, so something other like that, and that gives plenty of room for the water to drain out, especially, like I say, if you're turning it on and off, obviously it's quite a bit of water to get rid of. Here you can see, I want to show you the rock bed that we put in. Like I said, it's probably about 6 or so inches, 6-8 inches thick. Plenty of room for the water to leak off. And you'll see that I put some cardboard here in just a minute. I put some cardboard over top of the gravel. All that is to help keep the dirt from working down into the gravel, to help keep it clean, to where it's just a rock bed to dissipate the water. You can use, they call it landscape paper, anything, just any little thing, just something to keep the dirt from filling your gravel bed up. You know, a lot of if you just put the dirt right directly on the gravel, it'll infill, settle down into the rock, and it won't do you much good. And you'll notice I don't put a whole lot of dirt, just about 4 or 5 inches or so, because when we pour our footers and some other concrete work we're going to do, I'm going to have some concrete put around it, because if you don't stabilize the yard hydrant pretty good, they are easy to bump or move. You know, someone can hit them and it'll move enough to mess your water line up underground. And I went ahead and leveled it up just because I hate coming up and seeing a yard hydrant somewhere bent over like somebody hit it. Oh no, they didn't hit that. That's just the way it was when we put it in. All right, here I'm putting the CTST in, um, where it'll be split between the main line going over to the yard hydrant we just installed there a second ago. And there again, you see I put the little insert inside the line. Like I said, do not forget that, because that ain't nothing but a pain in the rear end later down the road, if not as soon as you turn your water on. Um, and like I said, when with these new fittings, when you tighten them down, you just tighten them down till they stop, and that's it. That way you can't over torque them and collapse your line or cut it, or under torque them, as long as you go to where they actually stop at. Here you see I'm just putting the final torque on all the fittings, and once they're torqued down, and I'll make sure they're all tight, well, then you'll see that I go through and actually walk up the ditch, pulling the line into the ditch and putting dirt just in places here and there. That's just to help hold the line in place, to cover the line up with the machine in a little bit, and also that way I can look to see if there's any rock in the ditch or any rock that's going to fall down in the ditch right off when I start putting dirt in, because obviously that'll destroy your water line.